Welcome back to the Design on Cloud Pavilion that's been sponsored by Google Cloud and Microsoft. I hope that you've had a great day at DAC today, a great week at DAC so far. We've got a couple of speakers left before the end of the day, so let me, without further ado, get to our next speaker. Our next speaker is a gentleman by the name of Cam He, and he is the Director of Solution and Consulting at Alibaba Cloud. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. Hope you're enjoying so far for the conference. This is the last day and the last couple of hours, and hopefully we can hold on. And hopefully that we can. Today I'm going to presenting the Alibaba ecosystem. Actually, this is not the title. Actually, I'm going to talk about it, and because in the last couple of days, what we found out. A lot of things maybe not quite relevant to this conference. So we changed it a little bit. So this is the agenda I'm going to talk about today. So first of all, as usual, just to give people a little bit overview of what's the Alibaba Group ecosystem and Alibaba, the architecture and Alibaba Cloud. So then we're going to talk a little bit about the Alibaba the Enterprises Network, and so that network will bring everybody together around the globe if you were in Alibaba Cloud. And also talking relatively to this conference is more on the HPC, elastic high performance computing that Alibaba uniquely positioned. And last, I want to talk about the transformation of how from on-prem to a DevOps environment. So without further ado, so Alibaba probably known for everybody is a e-commerce company, and that's not quite true. And Alibaba ecosystem is huge. And so if you're looking at the slides, you can see there are major different areas where we do from the digital media and the entertainment and to core e-commerce, which is B2B, B2C. And also right now, believe it or not, we have a B2G, and we provide a lot of smart city solution for government. So then you also, Alibaba has not only online, we have a offline and online, offline real stores. Today in China, we have a new retail. And this is a physical store, Alibaba Branch 2. All of this ecosystem, and so combined with a lot of social media you see today in the US, all of them sits on a very robust platform. So whether it's the M-Finance with the Alipay and people today in China, which is basically is a paperless, cashless kind of society. Nobody uses cash anymore. So one of the story is somebody robbed a store. At the end of the day, they couldn't find any cash in the store. So it's a cashless society. They're using a lot of Alipay today, and this is a platform across all our business unit. Then we have a smart logistics that's dealing with our inventory and also delivers and give the best route and more efficient to deliver the goods and the service to customer. So these are the Alibaba logistics platform. And also technologically, and that sits on the Alibaba Cloud. And the Alibaba Cloud is a fundamental technology behind the scene. So we, Alibaba itself, we're very proud of ourselves. We are actually, behind the scene, we are a data company. So looking at it, 64 business units today, all of these things behind the scene running on Alibaba Cloud is all these data flow into it. And this data, it's like behind the scene, it's like a data manufacturing. So manufacturing the data into many different ways. We're taking the data and making what we call one data. And sorted out the data from a data cleansing, from a data collection, and to a different kind of domain and format. And in the domain, whether in smart city or transportation or retail or e-commerce, and that that data will sort of through the one data, sorted out to a different domain. And also, we're taking all this customer information and through what we call the one ID, and we can use machine learning in whether you are in store, your payment, we can use machine learning to aggregating this data based on this particular ID. So then all of this data we're presenting in the way of what we call one data service. And all these different business units and our customers can consume this data in very efficient way because we have a data make that available. If you look at these scales, and we have billions of API calls every day. We have trillions of transactions. And if somebody knows about Double 11, you see this is how many transactions. You knock your head, so did you buy anything last time? So this is a very unique, a very secure environment. Scalable is the Double 11 is the combination of the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday all together and greater than that. So all of these things, it sits on a Alibaba cloud. So if we look at the Alibaba cloud, the technology architecture, and that really breaks down to a different kind of layers. If you're looking at the layer, the infrastructure, we are with all our sister, cloud provider today, and so they're very much the same. So we have an infrastructure for, data center, server, network, and you name it. And also the software layer, and you have a different kind of, we support many different kind of software, open source in the database. And from a commercially available or open source database, MySQL, Progress, and even today in the Oracle Rack, and as well. You have a storage in the middleware. What's unique about this, on top of that, we have all these platforms. So we have a compute platform, data platform, and also we have a AI platform and an algorithm platform. Really be able to leverage a lot of machine learning and deep learning today, and that's readily available. We can taking all these ecosystem data and be able to do a lot of machine learning and getting to what we learn, what we call the ET brain. So the ET brain is, think about it, this is like a human brain. And we'll be able to taking all these data and be able to serve many different unique industry, okay, such as a smart city. So we have probably globally, we have about 10 different cities right now use a smart city to do a traffic control, emergency vehicle routing, and traffic optimization, okay? And you can see we have a smart logistics, agriculture, and other retail. All of this is through the machine learning technology and be able to serve that particular domain industry. So today, and for this conference, I really want to bring a couple of uniqueness of the Alibaba, what we provide from an infrastructure level, then the tool level, right? From an infrastructure level, we have this cloud enterprises network. The cloud enterprises network, I don't want to go to too much, the network detail, but I want to give you some use cases. And so use cases today, a lot of companies, whether it's small or big, if you have a global footprint, you usually have, in the R&D department, you will have a different kind of a team. They're working on different kind of a specific research. So then you have a team, from a U.S. office in Germany and also China and Japan. But what we're doing today in this, on-prem technology, you have to actually either have a private network, and so you have a dedicated private network in the wire to a different country, then you have a last mile to your office. These are the technology is still a lot of people using it. But that creates a lot of high latency and very costly. But if you were in Alibaba Cloud and use the Alibaba Cloud, the CEN, the Cloud Enterprise Network, you simply just all these offices all connect into Alibaba Cloud, and we can be able to serve as you were in a office, a global office. So here you can see we have a connectivity from a different security system and from a virtual private cloud and to your data center. And through that, through the CEN, we'll be able to globally connect and to you. So these are the things that are very well for a global footprint company that uses Alibaba Cloud. And this is one of the reasons you want to use, and or at least to think about this infrastructure that readily available to you. Okay, so we're actually using this CEN. Behind the scene, we use a mesh network, and it's all network, the dots, they all connected to each other behind the scene. So it's very efficient and cost-effective. So this is what it looks like. Internally, they are all VPC, all connected, and with all these POPs. And we have about 100 different POPs, and Alibaba Cloud has 18 regions around the globe. We have 2 of them in U.S., and 2 regions in U.S. Each has 2 AZ and a variable zone. And the one is right here in Santa Clara. So it's very close to where you based. If it's coming based from West Coast, they are right ready here. So this is some of the use cases, and you will see the bandwidth for CEN is not actually fixed. They are actually shared. So they're providing a good sense of using and the shared network, and it's cost effective. So this is the infrastructure. We provide this global available infrastructure, and for you either do a business globally or do a research globally. And so also we have this very powerful elastic HPC and capability. And a lot of people come into our booth here and ask our engineers, what's the relevancy for you guys to be in this conference, right? And so all these, we don't have EDA tools today, maybe in the future, but EDA can be transforming, running on a lot of our platform and the cloud, or even using the simulation, using the HPC compute. So our HPC compute is really powerful and serve in the many different kind of areas. And so for industry-wise, so you can have a automobile, so for your simulation, and for if it's for climate, you can do for research university to do biotech, drug discovery, and all of this use very high computing power and use many cores to run some of the simulations. So this is the eHPC that we call the SCC, is a supercomputing cluster, and be able to spawn as needed base. And if you look at the this is my phone. And if you look at this, and we are actually 95% of less network latency. Okay, the network latency is really important when you go to this simulation and running a simulation program. So the latency is very important. So we be able to do this, and it would be it's very. So I have a demo in the later to show you how quickly we can create this eHPC, and very quickly creating that, and you can see how easily that will be. So this is actually a logical architecture. On the left is how the architecture will look like for a hardware piece, right? From your data center and from your switch and from your dispatching. So you're dispatching your work. If anybody run this simulation, you know there are a lot of work will be scheduled. And there's a scheduled work you run, and dispatching will actually know that. So you can have a a virtual switchboard, and the documentation storage is also very important, right? So in this use case, for the simulation company, you usually have to run very long job, and the storage is huge. If you run a pre and you run a solver and you run a post, usually the solver creates a lot of intermediate files. These files are terabytes. So imagine you don't have a global network. Imagine you don't have a good storage, and so you cannot store, your storage cannot be dynamically, expanded. So it's going to be a lot of in-house infrastructure that you have to acquire. So, and also running on the simulation, they are not life cycle in the one kind of constant kind of demand. So you usually have a design in the beginning, which is very small. You just create a CAD file, the CAD file which is a parts. So when you go down to migrating to a whole car, and so then you do a crashing, so that requires a lot of resource. But it only runs that kind of a simulation for only a few weeks. But in today's world, and some people on-prem, you have to buy all these infrastructure. You have to buy this very high-end compute and be able to, just for running this capable, or just to be able to make sure you can run this a couple of weeks' work. And with the cloud today, you can actually scale out, scale up, and also scale down. So this is really a powerful of that. And so this is where our HPC platform really hiding a lot of complexity there, and we'll be able to do things very quickly. So this is a kind of multiple nodes. This is, as I said, you can scale from a very beginning with just a one node and a single node. You can scale, and as the load is going up, and automatically to the need of the load. This is another example and how we actually scale up and scale down. So this is another example that we're not talking about. If you do a simulation, so you actually schedule a lot of work, and also there's a licensing, right? So all these simulation and program, whether it's ANSYS and other LS Dyna, all these tools are relatively, they're not cheap. So, and you have to buy a license if you're doing all these in-house. But we created this platform, and it can be able to use the license on demand. And so, which means you don't have to, you can either bring your own license, and you can actually using some of the licenses that incrementally bi-weekly also. So you can actually save a lot of money with that. So one of the use cases is a company in Shanghai, and it's the Shanghai automobile company. And so they are using our cloud. And so use the cloud and also connecting to their in-house on-prem cloud. So created this hybrid cloud situation when they want to run some of regular work in-house, and when they have a very large scale up kind of a very demanding kind of work, they will use our cloud. So this hybrid solution can give them a lot of flexibility. Our product team, I was just had a conversation last night, they actually tell me, and once they use the cloud-based, our HPC, and the engineering stop using their in-house one, because our cloud can automatically scale. And the job was running maybe a couple of days, and sometimes many hours. Now they can be running in few hours. Of course, as your engineer, so they always try to run their job faster. So really is a example of the cloud is so powerful and a scale up and a scale down. So this is really the HPC, the beauty of HPC, and we be able to support a lot of simulations in this industry. This is some of some of the diagram and how we also support CPFS, a cluster parallel file system. And these are distributed file systems, very, very quick and very, very scalable. This is what we almost call supercompute. And so we're running very high-end job. So the other thing is when we design our own HPC, and we designed the way is to use the same way as all other Alibaba platforms. So HPC becomes one of our Alibaba cloud platform, no difference than AI platform, no difference than other machine learning platform. So what that means is when you are in our platform, and you'll be able to leverage your other machine learning and AI and this algorithm platform, be able to actually intelligent to schedule your work and be able to getting the one data, getting to the platform, be able to do a lot of other things in your ecosystem. So this is one of the beauty that we be able to leverage. And whether you do the big data in the framework and also AI machine learning and the deep learning framework, it's all supporting that. So the HPC right now, we actually support a bare metal now. So we actually support a true bare metal, and this is what Alibaba's own product line. And we're not only supporting the bare metal, but also use the virtual machines management feature and be able to do managing all these bare metal in a very efficient way. Either you can do a snapshot, backup, and you can see what the job is running. And all of these things, we do the combination of the virtualization versus together with the bare metal. So, and if you're in the simulation industry and you really need a bare metal to be able to handle a lot of high computing. So this is a quick example of how easily that you can actually create. This is a website available, and you can go there and look at it. So this is how easily you can create this super HPC computer in a few minutes. You can select which zone you want to be, which region you want to be. And you can select what OS you want to be. And we have created a lot of templates, and whether it is for drug discovery or for simulation, that you can use different templates to give you a guidance of that. So you can while it's running in the background, you quickly create a user and be able to So now, once we created this cluster, and we'll be able to submit a job, okay? And the job can, as I said, the job will based on your load, automatically, increase the cluster for you. And we also can set up a priority for all these jobs, which one you want to run as a high priority one. Now job is submitted. So this is a create a job templates, create a job, and we can actually monitoring that. And it's an auto scale, right? So you can scale right now, you see one job is running. And when we have a load increase, we can expand. And not like today you have to size to have how many CPUs or how many load beforehand. So this is actually, you can scale as you need it. So now cluster is up to 2 because the load increased. really just that few minutes, you can actually from creating, getting the templates and submit the job, you're off running. So our slogan is to enable the engineers to do the engineering job. Don't have to spend a lot of time to do all these IT jobs. Now cluster is a shrink when job is done and automatically shrink back. So, this is if you look at your bill, so that makes difference. You're actually not using that much of the CPUs, and we can actually see the actual performance of that and the load situation. You can look at it 1 day, 3 days. This is the HP, the Alaska, high performance computing that very much resonating to this audience here. And also the next thing I want to talk about really is DevOps environment, because today really people separate development and production separately, and a lot of people still running in the old technology in-house. So this DevOps Alibaba provides and can transform you into a cloud-based development using the latest technology out there. So this is some of the stats. I don't want to read it. So this is basically by 2020, okay, the stats are saying if your company is not using DevOps and your CIO maybe should change your job. So right now, this is very hot, and this is a transformation. Maybe some of industry is very quickly, getting to the DevOps. Some of industry may be a little slower. So we actually support a major kind of DevOps tools today. And if you're looking at from our IaaS side, we have Terraform and the iOS and all these open source and platform. And on the PaaS side, we support the Cloud Foundry and Kubernetes, right? So the Kubernetes is very big in our cloud. So you can actually create a lot of containers, use a Kubernetes to manage that. Container service, and so the continue in and continue deliver. This is all DevOps kind of environment. So this is where the Alibaba Cloud in the DevOps kind of environment will look like. Okay. So this is a kind of a Kubernetes and a DAC container service, a Alibaba Cloud, a typical use case for a DevOps environment. Okay, so you will have a different kind of environment. So you have a production running, so then you have a staging, performance, and an integration test, and a development environment. And this is a shorten a life cycle of from your development and to production, and will give you much quicker go to the market. And this is all these new technology today that Alibaba and putting them all together into the Alibaba Cloud. So this is a quick introduction about how
Are you looking to establish a global online presence but worried about the painfully long turnaround time of app development? Meet Nancy, who feels the same. Nancy is the digital head of an e-commerce company that is gearing up for a global online shopping festival. She wants to build a customized shopping app for mobile devices with multilingual and multi-currency support. Typically, an app like this takes months to develop, test, and launch. However, Nancy only has a week to roll out the app and decides to adopt the DevOps methodology to complete the project. Nancy realizes that this is easier said than done, because to transition from a traditional development method to DevOps, her organization would face multiple challenges, such as difficulty adopting a DevOps culture. Traditional departmental silos must be replaced with cooperative and cross-functional teams to build an overall DevOps culture.
An organization change,
absence of an implementation plan.
Nancy's
not just organization lacks a DevOps implementation plan with well-defined milestones, deliverables, and project owners. Lack of necessary skills. Nancy's team is not accustomed to the new skills that DevOps requires. Her team needs to learn new tools to ensure continuous integration, infrastructure automation, containerization, and orchestration. Infrastructure incompatibility with DevOps. The organization must ensure that its existing infrastructure is compatible with DevOps technologies to deliver an enhanced user experience. Nancy is in an urgent need for a professional DevOps solution provider. Alibaba Cloud is the perfect choice for Nancy because it offers end-to-end DevOps solutions by combining the flexibility of DevOps with the power of the cloud. What's more, Alibaba Cloud experts provide professional guidance for organizations to successfully adopt DevOps. With its DevOps solution, organizations can enjoy detailed DevOps implementation plans. Alibaba Cloud experts provide DevOps implementation recommendations, which include well-defined milestones, deliverables, and project owners. Use of automation tools. Alibaba Cloud experts help organizations use proper automation tools to deliver results at a faster rate. Elimination of downtime and security vulnerabilities. The efficient monitoring and automated testing tools of DevOps eliminates downtime and security vulnerabilities. Breaking the rigid network infrastructure. Using DevOps in a centralized programmable network, organizations can automatically address changing requirements and reduce the CapEx and OpEx by enabling algorithm control of the network. With Alibaba Cloud's experienced professionals and DevOps support, Nancy's organization was able to achieve 2 times faster software delivery speed, 72% better software performance prediction and delivery, 64% improved software quality with fewer defects, 2 times better cost control for services and tools used, 65% improved customer experience than the baseline of traditional software development and delivery models. Nancy's global shopping app was a huge success, thanks to the power of DevOps. You too can make the most out of DevOps and the cloud. Talk to our experts today.
Yeah, so talk to our expert today. So we have a booth there. So I think if anybody interested in further conversation, then so talk to us. So just to recap, we talk about our ecosystem, and we really is a data company. We enable other businesses into our cloud, and we have a very relevant kind of technology there, from a global kind of network presence and to a elastic HPC computing power, and to a DevOps solution, and can transform your business from today's relatively on-prem technology to a more modern technology. And we actually is a major kind of cloud provider, and globally ranked number 3. And we have, again, the regions all over the world. So if you're interested in talking to us, and if you want to partner with us, and we're more than welcome to talking to you guys. And thank you very much.